If you already have a budget, and maybe you even use YNAB, and yet you still feel behind with money, this video is for you. By the end of it, you'll know why a working budget can still leave you stressed out and stuck, and what you need to actually change so that it helps you feel ahead and calm about your money. I want you to know that if you're tracking every single dollar and you're doing your monthly budget routine, and you're still thinking, why does this not feel any better yet? You're not crazy and you're not bad with money. There are very specific gaps that are causing this. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nick True from Mapped Out Money. And over the last 8 years, I've helped more than 2,000 people manage their money. I've reviewed thousands of real life budgets from people making $2,000 a month to over $100,000 a month. And this whole I budget, but I still feel behind pattern shows up at every income level. In this video, we're gonna zoom out and look at what's actually going on under the hood of your budget and why it feels like you're always catching up. I'll walk you through the 3 big reasons this happens. I'll show you my simple track, plan, spend framework, and we'll do a quick exercise that you can try today. And then I'll give you a 10-minute routine to start shifting from constantly behind to actually getting ahead with your money. Let's go ahead and get into it. First, I want to take a second and think about how you actually use your budget right now. For most people, it looks something like this. At the beginning of the month, you use your income and your targets to budget for your upcoming bills and whatever else that you can think of. Throughout the month, you categorize all the transactions as they happen. Then, at the end of the month, you look back and see how you did. You realize that you keep blowing these same categories every single month. You feel bad about it, you're frustrated at yourself, or maybe at your spouse, and you commit to trying to do better next month. And if that's the loop you're in, you technically have a budget, but that budget is acting more like a report card that beats you up every month. It's not actually a tool that's helping you do more of the things that matter to you. A budget that you actually stick with has 3 things. Number 1, it's connected to what you actually care about. Number 2, it gives you a little breathing room. Number 3, it has simple routines that make it usable in real life. Most budgets I see do a decent job of tracking and a terrible job of those 3. So let me walk you through each one. The first reason your budget isn't helping you is that it's not connected to the things that you actually care about. A lot of people set up their budget using generic category lists, rules of thumb that they heard somewhere, or what they found on the internet that they should spend on. So the budget technically works, but it doesn't really reflect their real life and their own priorities. When I audit somebody's budget like this, I'll often see things like no category for traveling to visit family, even though they say that family is really important to them. Not prioritizing spending on hobbies and interests, even though those are the things that actually bring them the most value. Or trying to spend less in certain categories simply because they're embarrassed about how much they spend in that area, even if it's something that's really important to them. Then they wonder why their budget often falls flat and feels kind of pointless. This is where what I call values-based budgeting comes into play. Let me walk you through a very simple exercise that you can do right after this video. Step 1, I want you to grab a piece of paper and write down a 3-year life snapshot. Answer questions like, where are you living 3 years from now? What do you do for work? How old are your kids? How do you spend your time with friends and family? What do you do for fun? Where have you traveled between now and then? And what do you hope money feels like then? I don't want you to write a novel here. This can be just a very quick bullet point version of some of the highlights between now and the next few years. Step 2 then is you're going to go back and circle everything or put a little dollar sign next to things that cost money. Think trips, hobbies, kids' activities, taking time off work, giving, anything that money is related to. The third step then is you're going to open your budget, look at your categories, and ask questions like, do I have categories that actually match the things on this list? Basically, am I actually putting money towards this stuff that I've said is on my vision for the next few years? For a lot of people, the answer is no. They don't even have categories or targets for things that they say are important to them. This is the first reason that you can budget every single month and then still feel behind. Your budget is more about measuring your current habits, not intentionally funding the future that you care about. All right, now the second reason is that you're always on the edge of zero. This is more about breathing room. There's a ton of folks who technically are on a budget, but the budget is so tight and so tied to their paycheck timing that it never really feels like they can breathe. Here's what this looks like in practice. You get paid, you cover the bills, then all the immediate stuff that's happening between now and the next time you get paid. Maybe you then save a little and there's basically nothing left until the next paycheck. Luckily, you're contributing a little bit to your 401k at work, so at least there's that, you think, but that feels like that's about it. If a bill hits a few days early, or there's an oddball expense that shows up, everything feels thrown off and you're back to overspending or having to put it on a credit card to get through. You're technically budgeting, but you're always playing defense, always trying to catch up before the next paycheck. What we want to do instead is start moving forward by being at least one paycheck ahead. We want to play offense and get ahead of the things that continually throw us off. Practically, what that means is that the money you get paid this month is mostly funding next month's bills. Once you get there, you won't be dependent on the exact timing of your paycheck just to cover this week or next week's expenses. Now, to be clear, this does not happen overnight. For most people, this is going to happen in very small steps. You're going to just be first building that first $100, $200, $500, $1,000 of buffer and starting to pre-fund next month's rent or mortgage. Slowly, by shifting from covering this month to covering next month plus a little bit more, you're going to get ahead. The key idea is this. If you just budget without any buffer and you aren't actively finding a way to create some space ahead right now, you're still going to feel behind. Now, the third reason is probably the one that most wrecks people's budgets, and that's you don't have a small, consistent routine, so your budget slowly drifts away from reality. The pattern usually goes like this. You reset things at the start of the month. You get everything kind of dialed in. You're like, yes, this month is going to work. You keep up with the budget for a week or two, but then you miss a few days because something happens. All of a sudden, catching up feels super overwhelming because you have, instead of 5 transactions, you have like 35. So you avoid it. And eventually you stop opening your budget at all. This is totally normal, and I see it all the time. But here's the deal. The fix is not just simply trying harder or being more disciplined. The fix is to design a simple routine that's so small that you can do it on an average Tuesday, even when you're tired. So I want to show you the 10-minute routine that I have all of my students start with. Let me just show you what this looks like. The first step is to open your budget. Now you can do this on your app or you can do it on the computer and just categorize the outstanding transactions. Most people, even some of my clients who have the most transactions, very rarely have more than 7 to 10 a day. Most people have 3 to 5. You'll see though how quickly I can breeze through this. Publix is groceries, corner store, that's going to be an ATM withdrawal. This check is going to be tithing. Chewy is pet expenses. Etsy, that's correct, is Hannah spending. This is gas. La Casita is dining or eating out. Amazon is Amazon, and Dollar General is groceries. Approve. Done with the first step. We're not going to do anything on the plan screen at first, just the transactions. Second step is I'm going to go to the plan screen. I'm going to look at my overspent items, and I'm going to deal with these. I cannot have any overspending. So I'm going to go, okay, well, I accidentally overspent this. I was off. So where do I want to pull this $2 from? In this case, I'm going to scroll through here and choose. Now, I don't want to take it from next month's money because, again, I'm trying to leave my buffer. That's for next month's bills. I also don't want to take it from my credit card payments. So where do I have extra money that I can pull? Looks like my utilities, they've already been paid, and I had a little extra here. I'll take my $2 from there. All right, 75 extra here. So again, where can I pull from? I'm going to scroll through here and try and see. Maybe I'll take it from home furnishings and decor. Just means I have less money for that this month. ATM cash, I decided to pull out a little extra cash, and maybe I know that I got that cash for a birthday gift. So I'm going to pull this from gifts. And then lastly, Amazon shopping, same thing here. This was probably fun. So again, I'm probably going to pull this from miscellaneous. I'll pull the rest from furnishings and decor. All right, step 2 is done. Covered my overspending. For the third step, I'm just going to do a quick scan of the budget and make sure that I have enough money where I think I need it to get through until my next paycheck. In this case, I've even got a little view that I've set up called Daily Scan, where I filter the view so it doesn't even have all my saving stuff. It basically just has the bills and then a few fun things. Basically the stuff that I know that I consistently go over on. So I'm making sure that all my bills are good, and they are. I've got money available for all of those. Looking here, my debts are paid this month. This personal loan is good to go. It's funded. And so now I just want to look and go, okay, I've only got $46 left in eating out. We've got 2 weeks left in the month. Do I think that's realistic for me to live on? If so, great. If not, I might go and move money around from somewhere else. Maybe I know, for example, that that's not going to be enough. So I decide to come down here and say, you know what? I'm just not going to do any clothing money this month. I'm going to take my clothing money, move that to the eating out so that I've got a little bit extra there. And so now my eating out has 116. I think I'm good to go. Groceries, $250 less for the month. I know that we just got groceries yesterday, so I think we can probably make that work. Now, Amazon shopping, we're out of, so I just need to make sure that I'm ready to be committed to not buying anything else on Amazon this month. And again, if I'm not, I'm going to go ahead and preemptively try and decide where do I want to take money from to be able to do that. Once you get into a rhythm, you can see that whole thing took me far less time than 10 minutes. And if you will do this most days, it will keep your budget tied to reality in a way that makes your brain stop freaking out every time you think, I need to open YNAB up. The key, though, is truly doing this every day. And one of my favorite ways to do this is using something called a habit stack that James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habits. The idea is that you choose something that you do every single day already, and then you want to stack the new habit right up against that. Choose something like checking email, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, putting your kids down for bed. Make that the trigger for going, oh, now it's time to check YNAB. I typically do my routine in the morning while the coffee is brewing because there's not a single day that I ever don't drink coffee. For me, by the time the coffee is ready, my YNAB is up to date, and I'm ready to move on with my day. Now, everything we just talked about rolls up into a very simple framework I use with all my clients called Track, Plan, Spend. In the first phase, Track, we get an honest picture of what's happening with your money. No budgeting, no shaming, just collecting the data. We're tracking what's going on. Then in the plan step, we're going to build a values-based budget around your life based on what you actually want and start aiming at being that paycheck ahead. Lastly, in the spend phase, we'll use a small daily routine to actually live by that plan in real life. Most people are stuck in a loop of track, spend, feel bad, and repeat. They skip the planning and visioning step, and they don't have any simple routines to keep the whole thing going. But if you'll start tying your categories to your real values and vision, you'll be amazed at how different the same income actually feels. You don't have to fix everything this week. The goal is just to start to shift your budget from generic and reactive to something that's more values-based, slightly ahead, and connected to your real life. Now, if this is clicking and you're thinking, okay, I get it, but I would love to get some help actually doing this and not just hearing about it. Well, that's exactly what I do inside of my program Ahead in 100. Over 100 days, we help you get really clear on your life vision and values, build a YNAB-powered values-based spending plan using Track, Plan, Spend. We work on being at least one paycheck ahead on your bills and help you achieve at least 3 concrete money wins that you can point to. The program is a live cohort that includes weekly Q&A calls with me, small group expert hours calls with my team of coaches, a private community, coaching support, and budget reviews. If you're watching this around the time that this video comes out, enrollment is now open for the current cohort and the doors are closing on August 24th. There's a link down below in the description where you can watch a short video overview and see if the standard track or the premium coaching intensive is a better fit for you. Either way, here's what I want you to take away from this. Budgeting can feel better than it does right now, but the fix is almost never just more willpower, more grit. It's tying your money to the things that you actually care about, then giving yourself a little bit of breathing room and building small routines that fit your real life. If you found this video helpful, let me know down in the comments below which of the 3 reasons hit home the most, and I can make more videos diving deeper into those pieces. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.